And here we go. We continue learning a little bit about tefillah each and every day. Baruch Hashem. Firstly, just a quick personal feeling. It's incredible. Everyone in the middle of their workday taking off 5 minutes and perhaps answering the most important call, just like the tefillah of mincha is there smack in the middle of our day so that we could connect to Hashem. So sometimes we become so scheduled, we forget the whole invention of mincha was in the middle of our day to have a meeting with Hashem. So this is a bit of a reminder as we all sit here in the middle of our work days, in the middle of our busy schedules, taking a few moments to reconnect into what is actually real. And also, Baruch Hashem, a wonderful Yid. I don't really even know him, but he sent us a message. He'd like to sponsor some Shearim. He already sponsored, I think he said he's going to sponsor 10 of Shearim Pincus's English Sefer. So Mirza Hashem, the next day or so, we will coordinate anyone else who needs as well. So let's begin. We have 4 minutes on the dot. We remind ourselves of such a critical ingredient that we learned yesterday, which was what? There's different types of tefillah. And really, Rav Pincus, he continues in the introduction with that same detail, is that not every tefillah is created equal. And he quotes a shalah, in which it says, Why are Klal Yisrael? We daven, but sometimes we don't get answered. Why not? And the shalah says, they don't know how to daven v'shem. So the Pashib Shat, he says, is that we don't have the right kavanas, the esoteric meanings, the kavanas of the Arizal, etc. But Shearim Pincus, a little bit of the play on words of the Shalah, says, you know what it might mean? We're just not davening right. We're davening, but maybe we're not utilizing it correctly. Like the example we gave yesterday. One thinks he's sitting and he's crying, Roifei Chaylim, Hashem, heal the person that's sick. And Lemaisa, he's missing the boat. Because at that point of tefillah, at the beginning of Shemoneh Esrei, it's shevach, it's praises, it's reliance on Hashem. And it's a totally different tefillah. Turning to God and saying, Hashem, you got this one. I believe in you. I know you have the ability. That's a different form of tefillah. So we already started to realize, and I'm sure many people in their Shemoneh Esreis started to key in that, wait, to the beginning of Shemoneh Esrei, I got to have a different mindset. Is a completely different tefillah. And basically he concludes the Hakdama. In the Hakdama, I'm going to be going a drop faster in the text just because it's Hakdama, it's introduction. And he continues and he says, just like when it comes to learning, you want to know a halacha. So yesterday he gave us the example that you go open up your Baba Kama, you go open up your Sefer on Hilchas Brachas to find out if I should do Shluach, I can. Find out what, about if I'm allowed to open my sink on Shabbos. Halachas that have nothing to do with each other, you're not going to find it. He continues with another example. He says that a Talmud Chacham, what does he need? He said he needs 2 ingredients. One is he has to plunge the depths, which is what we always view as kavana, which of course is critical. But another ingredient is he has to have the full hekif, the full breadth of Torah, that you can't just know one area. And that's that same example that if you can ask a Rav that learns Hilchos Brachos his whole life, and you knock on his door on a Friday night and you want to know, can I get the guy to turn on the air conditioning because the Eilam's about to faint in the Shtibel Shabbos because of the heat. And the Rav says, well, the bracha, Shkoyach, I'm not asking you the bracha. I want to know about asking a guy on Shabbos. So says Rav Shearim Pincus, that's what we have to know, all the different types of tefillah. He's referring to the 10 different types of tefillah, the 10 lishonos of tefillah. And really he concludes the Hakdama in teaching us that this entire Sefer is very similar. He says, I didn't invent the wheel. Someone might say, Rav Pincus, where did you come from to say there's 10 different types of tefillah? Very nice. You found the medrash, but come on, is there anyone else that did such? And he says, yes, the Sefer Be'er Mayim Chayim, which is quite a Kabbalistic Sefer. He has a Sefer called Shar Tefillah, and in that Sefer he also bases the whole Sefer on these 10 terms of Tefillah. So Shearim Pincus tells us, I'm not the first one to do it. There are precedences to this. And finally he says, who am I? Who am I? It's funny, nowadays we said if Shearim Pincus would for sure be a Gadol Adar, but he writes, who am I to write a Sefer on Tefillah? And he says, you know who I am? I am someone that every dar, ein l'cha dar, only their judge. We're not as great as Moshe Rabbeinu, but we have to be able to talk the language of the Dar. So he says that's what he's doing, talking the language of our Dar. And B'siyata D'Shmaya, we're going to start tomorrow with the first chapter, which is going to be the Pirkei Psicha. It's almost a second Akdama, which is the preliminaries of prayer. And Mirza Hashem, looking forward to seeing everyone. Everyone have an amazing, amazing rest of your day.